it is my great privilege to welcome Leslie Alexandre, the brand new President and CEO of Life Science Washington. Leslie, welcome to Seattle.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I am thrilled to be here.
We are delighted, so delighted and excited to have you. For some context, why don't you give us a little bit of a history about what has brought you here to Seattle? Tell us about your journey a bit.
So, as some people know who may be listening, I was born in Vancouver, Washington. So for me, I feel a little bit like I'm coming home to my state. I was raised in the San Francisco Bay Area, educated there, and initially worked there through the 80s, and then made my way to the East Coast. Had the great privilege and really a fun time working on Capitol Hill for a few years on health policy issues. My background is in public health, in financing and delivery of health care, and a lot of my career has taken twists and turns that evolve around public health. I got into biotechnology, in the mid-90s. I had the wonderful opportunity to work for a startup cancer genetics company. From there, I went to the National Cancer Institute to lead industrial relations, and then was recruited to North Carolina to lead the North Carolina Biotechnology Center. And that really gave me the right background for this position here in Washington. I've done some things in between, most recently working for an academic cancer center in Georgia. But through, I think, great luck and good fortune, was contacted about the search for the new president here. And it was the right time and the right place. And I'm happy to be here.
So tell me, what was it about Washington State? What was appealing about this role for you?
My gosh. First of all, the role itself. Because Life Science Washington is such a unique organization. The North Carolina Biotechnology Center was a state-funded private nonprofit that took on a special role in the state's biotechnology economic development. I sat on the board of NC Biosciences, which was the industry trade association, and we worked closely with them, as we did with the Council for Entrepreneurial Development in North Carolina. What I love about Life Science Washington is it really combines all of the different functions that were provided by these different entities in North Carolina into one umbrella organization that is so powerful and influential and helpful in this community. I didn't view it as a typical trade association. I really view it as a critical part of the life science ecosystem here. And that ecosystem is really driven by incredible discovery. One of the things that's appealing to me is not just, I've worked with UW over the years, as recently as a major grant a few months ago in Georgia with researchers here, but the research institutes and organizations such as yours that are stimulating the discovery, powerful discovery, and the plethora of industries across the state. We always think about the healthcare applications, but in this state, just as in North Carolina, there's certain similarities. It's a coastal state. You have marine sciences, agricultural biotech, lumber, forest biotechnology, so many basic industries that are influenced by life sciences. It just, to me, it was all good.
So that seems like an opportunity, right, to expand our definition of the ecosystem here, right, beyond what we traditionally think about.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I can't wait to get around the state. I mean, of course, coming to Seattle's magnificent, and how spoiled am I to arrive in the middle of such amazing weather. Like, what rain?
Exactly.
What rain?
Exactly.
I'm not sure you really want people to come to Seattle.
No, we do not want it talked about, and we're going to edit that part out.
You're not going to like me because I'm going to be out telling the story big time. I think Seattle is one of the, and really the state of Washington, it's one of the best kept secrets. The incredible opportunity that's here in life sciences. I think when people do studies, the real experts, Seattle and the whole greater Seattle area always rank high. But when you ask the average person on the East Coast, I'm not sure they're aware of all the good things that are here. And I'm sorry, but I will be talking it up, including the weather.
So I do think it's important to talk about that, because we've traditionally thought about often in terms of these organizations as competitors, and trying to attract. But I think that mindset is changing and needs to change. And how do you see, your role at Life Science Washington? How do you see reaching out not only across the country but across the world in terms of leveraging those opportunities?
Well, the first thing I want to do is make sure we're fully reaching out around our region. As you know, this meeting is Life Science Innovation Northwest. It's not Life Science Innovation Washington. And while I'm proud of the fact we have so many people here, I know that there are also attendees from Montana, from Oregon, from other states, and I want to make sure first we're making our region as strong as possible. And I think we don't have to compete. There are enough synergies, there are enough opportunities to strengthen each other. That first we need to meet and sit down and talk and find out what's everybody doing and how can we help each other. Nationally, we're very fortunate to participate in the Council of State Biotechnology Associations. Life Science Washington is a known leader at that level. We need to get the message out from a marketing standpoint more broadly. We have some natural alliance opportunities. Look at the global health space.
Yep.
So Washington's the Mecca, with your organization being such a big part of that. Obviously, the Gates Foundation. But there are ties to North Carolina, which is also working very hard, has a lot of leading companies and nonprofits. So, of course, I want to leverage my relationships to do those. Internationally, we have to tell our story. We have to get out with commerce, partner with the state, partner with leaders to get around the world and tell the story. Part of it is people just aren't aware.
Yeah. So you've been on the job for has it even been 48 hours?
Not quite.
Not quite. I think not quite.
Not quite.
So, but I know you've been meeting people. Tell me about some of the things that have surprised you, whether it's some of the work going on or that you're excited about.
I'm not sure how surprised, but I'm so excited by how many cool companies there are. And just being at this meeting, I almost didn't make it to our interview because I was in the middle of listening to our former president, Chris Rivera, speak about Nativus. What an amazing company. Listening to the CEOs speak, whether it's startup or some of the better developed companies, further developed, super impressed by what's going on. I was surprised during the interview process. I've told some people I wasn't sure whether to believe it when I was told that over $3 billion of life science transactions here in 2015. Wow.
Yep.
That is a big number. And looking at the statistics now is seeing how diversified that is. It's not one big $2 billion deal. Yes, there have been some big deals, but goes across the gamut from seed funding, angel, venture capital, mergers, and partnerships.
Yep.
Very impressive.
So a year from now at the next LSINW meeting, when you look back over your first year, what are you hoping you can point to as measures of success?
I definitely want to expand our membership across the state and really potentially across the region in areas where they do not have their own association to represent them. I don't think we have to be so parochial that what we do is strictly within the borders of Washington. It's clearly our priority, but I think we strengthen ourselves when we strengthen others. Here in our state, I want to spend time in the East. I want to understand what are the opportunities. It's very exciting that there's a new medical school going in with a new model. I can't wait to learn more about it and see is there something we can do by being there more often to help stimulate moving things out of the labs and into commercial. That a measure of success will be growing our membership, diversifying our membership. Gosh, I have a list of them,
Right,
and they're
yes.
right now.
Well, no. I mean, that seems that would be a solid priority to start with. And then, as you've talked about, maybe expanding that ecosystem some to reach out more to ag and for the biofuels and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there are all sorts of opportunities there. So, so people know a little bit about you outside of work. What are some of the things that you just love to do? What are you looking forward to doing here?
I love to travel. I love traveling widely internationally, but I love little weekend trips. I can't wait to go to the wine country. There are some And I say that as a snobby
Hundreds.
Californian. There are some spectacular Washington wines, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to visiting the coast and doing some hiking. The mountains are amazing. I'm a little intimidated by the massive kitchen that I have acquired in my home, but I'm looking forward to cooking in it and having friends over and just getting to know folks in the community, starting with my neighbors. It's really a great group, and I look forward to building a new life here.
Well, it's really wonderful to have you here. We'll share wine notes and we'll tell you where the farmers markets are, so we'll be able
Can't
to get
wait.
through that. So I just want to thank Leslie Alexander and welcome you again
Thank
to the
you.
Northwest. And thank you here from Life Science Innovation Northwest. I'm Lisa Cohen.